Are you struggling with stress in your life right now? Are you finding it very difficult to focus on the everyday tasks at hand because you feel so overwhelmed with all of this uncertainty that's going on in the world? My name is Rebecca Kiger. I'm a certified high performance coach and financial advisor, and I know what it's like to deal with crippling anxiety to the point where you feel as though you're having a heart attack. You don't even know what's going on in your body because you don't know how to tame that beast in your head, right? So I totally understand, and I'm going to give you my 5 tips of the things that I did to go from someone who was completely crippled by stress to being in a place now where I rarely have any type of anxiety, and when I do, I know how to calm it down immediately. Tip number 1 is stop hanging around people who drain you. I know that this is common sense, guys, but common sense is not always common practice. If you're surrounded by people in your life who are draining the life out of you, you know that one person that you can't even pick up the phone without being stressed before you hit accept? That person, that's the one that I'm talking about. Okay, if there's someone in your life that is draining you and pulling from you every single conversation that you have, you literally feel like you need to walk away from the rest of the world and just give yourself a reset button, that's a sign that your body and your energy is telling you that something is wrong here. So it's time to evaluate that relationship. And I'm not saying that we need to, step away from every person in our lives, because that would also cause stress. What I'm saying is just have a better communication system in place with this person and let them know that, I'm turning a new leaf in my life. I would really like to continue with positivity. I've just been so consumed and overwhelmed with all of this negativity that I really want to continue on a positive direction. Would you come with me? Would you commit to having positive conversations going forward? And if they say yes, that's amazing. Absolutely. Bring them along with you on this journey of growth. But if they say no, or they continue to live in that negativity, then it's time to evaluate how much time you want to spend around that person. Because if they are continuing to drain you, then that relationship is not serving you. Tip number 2 is to start a gratitude practice. It's physically impossible for us to be grateful and stressed and worried at the same time. If you don't believe me, I want you to try it right now. If you're stressed or you're worried or even create a little bit of stress in your life, just think of something that makes you upset. And then right after that, I want you to think of something that you're grateful for. But I don't want you to just think of it. I want you to actually feel it. Think of a moment or think of someone that you're grateful for and actually go back to that moment where you were either in their presence or you were experiencing this joy and this gratitude. I want you to go back there right now. I want you to feel what you felt, see what you saw, and just be in that moment, relive that moment, and just stay there for a second. And then tell me, is the worry still there? No, of course it's not, because you've replaced it with something positive, with gratitude, and gratitude is the highest vibrational emotion that we can feel as human beings. So starting a gratitude practice is absolutely huge if you want to reduce stress levels in your life. Here's where I would start. The first thing I would do, the second that you get out of bed tomorrow, I would open my eyes and immediately say thank you for being alive. Okay, so if you can't think of a lot of things to be thankful for, I'm gonna give you some right now. I know that if you're listening to this video that you are privileged more than most. And what I mean by that is you have a computer, you have the internet capability, right? Because you're watching me on YouTube. You have gotten out of bed this morning, you are alive, you are safe. All of those things are true if you're watching me right now. So I want you to, if you have nothing else to be thankful for, I just listed off 5 things right there to be grateful for, which half of the world doesn't have right now. So with all of this uncertainty, it is so important for us to be reminded on a daily basis of the things that we do have versus looking outside of ourselves to figure out what we don't have and being in that place of lack. So the first thing I want you to do when you get out of bed in the morning is to be thankful that you are alive, and just see how this changes your mood, this changes your whole stress levels. I'm telling you, bear with me, this is going to change your life. So get out of bed in the morning, be thankful. The second thing, start a gratitude journal. So in this gratitude journal, it doesn't need to be a long, drawn out situation. All you need to do is write down 3 things, just 3, every single day that you're thankful for. But I don't want you to just write them down. I also want you to go back through that practice that we just did of getting back into that moment of feeling gratitude for those things. Go back, put yourself back in that position and really feel the feelings and relive that moment of gratitude. And I want you to do that just within the first couple minutes of waking up and see how much better your day goes as a result. I want you guys to update me within the comments of how this has changed your life. I'm telling you just this quick gratitude practice, and there's science and neuroscience behind it of why to do it in the morning, but we won't get into all that. Just do it first thing in the morning and see how your life changes. Okay, so tip number 3, let go of the idea of having to be perfect. Now, I know if you are a perfectionist like I used to be, that this is a very scary statement. So let me explain, and please bear with me, because there is so much freedom on the other side of this, it's not even funny. So many of us don't take action in our lives in the things that are most important to us because we feel like we have to be perfect and great at it to even get started. And logically, it makes no sense. If you go back to when you were a baby, you decided that you were going to learn how to walk, okay? That's just all of us, right? We all decided that we were going to learn how to walk. And how many times did you fall down before you perfected the act of walking? Okay? You never in your lifetime as a child fell down and just decided, I'm going to stay here because I'm obviously not good at this walking thing. It doesn't happen. We don't do it as children. So why do we do it as adults? If you're just getting started with something, you don't need to be perfect at it. You just got started. So give yourself some grace and allow yourself to understand that this is a journey. Life is a journey, and there is no such thing as perfectionism. So just get started. A lot of us are afraid of starting small, and in reality, that's the only way to start. Where do you think these big, very successful individuals, where do you think that they started? In the same place. So it's just getting started and letting go of that idea of having to be perfect. So number 1, let go of perfectionism when it comes to getting started at something. If there's something that you've been putting off in your life because you just aren't good at it yet and you're not sure and you're afraid of starting small, or worse, being seen starting small, those are things that stop us from taking action in our lives. And so it's really important to understand that ultimately, we're never going to get good at something if we don't have that practice. So allow yourself to be human. Give yourself some grace today. And the second way that I would let go of perfectionism in my life is I would let go of the idea of having to look perfect. Now, I know that many of you women out there specifically really resonate with this one. And I know that men care too, but this one really, as a woman in today's society, I know how this affects you. So I really want you to tune into this part. I want you to understand that even if you are not perfect on the outside, which, newsflash, none of us are, right? Your message is still important. You are still worthy. You are still capable, and you are still enough to go after whatever it is that you desire in your life. You are perfect, absolutely perfect, just the way that you are. So let go of that idea of having to look the part and be the part before you ever get started. So many beautiful women walk through this world. I know them. I have been them. I have them in my family. I know and understand that so many women walk through this world discounting themselves and not fully appreciating the moment that they're living in, and really not living in to who they were called to be because they were so hyper-focused on what's going on the external. I was that woman for a very long time. I didn't step into my passion because I was so concerned about what other people would think about me, and that I didn't look the part. You know what? My message is still important. Even if I feel like I could lose that extra 10 or 20 pounds, or maybe I want the Botox and the lip fillers and all the other things that all these celebrities and everybody's doing nowadays. And there's nothing wrong with those things. I just want you to realize that you are worthy with or without them. You are worthy with or without them. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look and feel good about yourself, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I want you to understand that even if you don't feel your best that day, even if you don't look your best that day, it doesn't make you any less worthy. It doesn't make you any less important. It doesn't make this very moment, which we have at our fingertips right now, any less special. We have to understand that even if we are not perfect, that we are still important. And our message is still valuable. And whatever contribution that we are supposed to be making to this world, it's still needed. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. It doesn't matter if you're always chasing that next thing. You're never able to fully enjoy what you have right now at your fingertips. And the only thing that's promised is now. If you're moving toward that goal in your life, you're going to reduce that level of stress. You're going to feel more aligned with who you were sent here to be, and you are going to be happier and more fulfilled. Okay. And tip number 4 is start a meditative practice. Now, I know this might sound crazy, but bear with me. Study after study after study has shown that meditation and mental health are absolutely connected, and that starting a meditative practice can lower stress levels and actually lower blood pressure, amongst many other health benefits that you can do your research to see why meditation would be important to you. But I know that this is something that has truly changed my life and helped me to center myself, so that whenever a situation does come up where I feel stressed or I feel that anxiety coming on, I can easily now put myself into a meditative practice and it's gone. It's completely gone. Now, when you first start meditating, here's a couple tips that I would recommend. So the first step that I would take in starting a meditative practice is to start with a guided meditation. Now, there's so many different guided meditations out there. The one that I would recommend is from my mentor, Brendon Burchard. It's called the Release Meditation Technique. But in this meditation, it helps you to release all of the tension and the things that are going on within your body, within your mind. And it really just helps you to kind of set and center yourself. So I would start with that one. So start with a guided meditation. And the second thing that I would do to help create that meditative practice is schedule it. Put it in your calendar. I know how busy it gets once you actually get your days started, and how it's very difficult to pull yourself aside and center yourself. You're not even thinking about that. You're thinking about going throughout your day and all the things that you have to do. So I would again recommend to do this in the morning, but I would schedule out 5 or 10 minutes to start and get that meditation in for the day. See how your life changes as a result of meditating. Last but not least, tip number 5 is get some exercise. Now, again, I know that this is common sense, but not always common practice. There have been many studies that have shown the links between exercise and mental health. And I can say that truly within my own life, if I'm feeling stressed, if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm feeling worked up, all I need to do is go for a brisk walk, center myself, go down into my gym and do a quick workout, go outside, go for a jog. No matter what it is that you're doing, move your body, because a body in motion stays in motion. And when we can get that momentum going to where we're feeling better, we want to keep that going, because each and every one of you know that when you stop doing all of these things, when you stop all the habits, you stop working out, it's really hard to get started again. So keep that in motion. Keep that body in motion, staying in motion. All right, guys, so that wraps up the 5 tips to help you reduce stress in your life and feel more at peace. If this video helped you, make sure that you share it with someone else that is dealing with the same thing, as it may be the biggest difference that they need in their life right now. Make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned for my weekly content of all things to help you level up your life.